Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, we follow with survivors of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines nearly a month after the disaster. We meet Tzu Chi volunteer Liu Jiyu and learn his ways to encourage disaster survivors to rediscover their confidence. Finally, in Sri Lanka, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers help plan the upcoming 2 winter aid distributions. On November 8th, Super Typhoon Haiyan devastated coastal areas in the central Philippines, leaving a trail of destruction in Tacloban City. Within 2 weeks, Tzu Chi volunteers from around the globe flocked into the disaster areas to help local residents. Now nearly 1 month has passed. Let's take a look at how the disaster survivors work in cooperation with the Tzu Chi Foundation to rebuild their lives and communities. Tacloban, what a wonderful and vibrant day. As the gasoline station reopens, numerous local residents are seen here lining up to refill their tanks.
I have to go to many places. I need to pick up my children and go to the market.
The fuel will be used for our power generator, which will then be used to generate electricity.
I'm refilling my motorbike so I can get from here to my destination over there.
Logistics is an indicator of economic activities. As truck drivers are lining up at the gasoline station, it means local businesses have resumed their operation. However, to avoid panic buying, a fuel ration is put in place.
Because there is not enough diesel fuel to meet our needs, the fuel is rationed to the general public. We are only allowed to refill up to 2,000 Philippine pesos. Though the price is a little higher, it is still acceptable.
Here at a local market, one can also find the vitality of Tacloban City.
Here we are at a traditional market near Late Progressive High School. It's around 7 a.m. in the morning. As you can see, the street is bustling with crowds and traffic jams. Street vendors have already resumed their businesses, selling a variety of goods and necessities. This shows life is slowly returning back to normal.
Now many customers would buy my goods. Those who join Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program would come to my store and buy some necessities.
My business is quite good. Residents outside Tacloban City also come and buy my oil lamps. Many of them are those joining Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program. They need lights in their homes.
My earnings are good. Many residents have improved in their financial situations thanks to Tzu Chi's assistance. Because of Tzu Chi, countless residents are slowly getting back on their feet.
Thanks to Taiwan's Tzu Chi Foundation, following Typhoon Haiyan, volunteers from around the globe found their way into the worst-hit areas. They carried out the Cash for Work program to improve the lives of local residents, which also stimulated the local economy.
Tzu Chi has given us a huge push. Although our house is gone, we can still get back on our feet because Tzu Chi gave us wages for cleaning up our own community. They asked us not to gamble, drink, or smoke. I listened to their advice. Check this out, Tzu Chi gave me 500 Philippine pesos and I used the money all to buy food for my family.
Thank you.
For residents of Tacloban, their key to recovery is Tzu Chi.
Tzu Chi volunteers told me not to get angry. I remember that I used the $500 to buy food to feed my kids, as well as some repair materials for the roof and a lot of nails. Thank you, Tzu Chi. I will keep on smiling.
Give your smile.
Regardless of the havoc wreaked by the merciless disaster, with their optimum and positive outlook on life, the Filipinos will move on and be able to face all future challenges. In the half-month's time since Tzu Chi implemented its Cash for Work program in Tacloban, many areas have already completed cleanup work. However, local residents' affinity with Tzu Chi does not just end there. Since the extent of the damage in Barangay 58 was more severe, many former Cash for Work participants from other areas arrived to give fellow residents a helping hand. It is the sixth day of the Cash for Work program here in Tacloban's Barangay 58. Since the area suffered more extensive damage during Typhoon Haiyan, to speed up recovery efforts, Tzu Chi volunteer Cai Shenghang brought along a troop of helpers.
We are concerned because the Cash for Work program will soon come to an end, but there is still a large area which we still need to tend to. There are many people still suffering here that need our help, so we came up with a more convenient solution. We mobilized residents from other barangays to help out.
Hence, under the leadership of the barangay chairman, a group of former Cash for Work participants from Barangay 65 joined hands with Tzu Chi volunteers.
The people to work, of course, for 7 days is very clean in our barangay. So, thanks to the Tzu Chi, in our barangay is the founder, one of founder in Tzu Chi in Anibong.
Sir Michael wants to help our people. He has a good heart to help our people. So our people here in Tacloban benefit the goodness of the foundation. Yes, ma'am. So that's why I am volunteering to help the foundation.
Just like in 2009, when Typhoon Ketsana struck the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers' love gave rise to a troop of new volunteers. Today, in the disaster areas of Tacloban, Tzu Chi volunteers' efforts will also inspire residents to join their ranks in the near future. The implementation of Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program in Tacloban since November 20th not only compensated residents for their efforts, but also helped revive the city's economy. As the cleanup effort nears its final phase of completion, the love of Tzu Chi volunteers has inspired many to donate a little of their love each day, while others promise to join the volunteers' ranks in the future. This is the fourth and final day of the Cash for Work program here at the Sacred Heart School. And while residents don't speak a word of Chinese, they still happily sing along to the song to express their gratitude to the volunteers. This letter is to express our thanks. Although we don't have the opportunity to meet Master Zhen Yan, we still want to convey our thanks through this letter.
We are very happy to have met Tzu Chi. Tzu Chi gave Tacloban residents an opportunity to stand tall again. This t-shirt is just a small token of our appreciation to thank you for implementing the Cash for Work program here.
Thank you very much.
The circle of love doesn't just end there. During the 4 days after completing the day's work, local residents would donate their spare change into the bamboo coin bank, while others even signed up to become volunteers.
I want to be a volunteer, not only me, many others as well.
Although Tzu Chi volunteers won't be here forever, residents here will continue to help and support one another. As Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program is nearing its final phase of completion, the interaction between Tzu Chi volunteers and residents have inspired compassion and unity within communities.
Instead of gambling our days away and waiting for other people to bring us food, taking part in the Cash for Work program motivates us to make our communities a better place.
This cheer motivates hearts and marks the first step out of despair. The once debris-cluttered streets and alleys now appear different since Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program. Anguish and despair which once lingered the air are now fading. The road home is no longer estranged. Instead, there is hope for a new beginning.
I want to spread the seeds of Tzu Chi. Once we are done with our clean-up work, I will coordinate with the barangay chairman to get everyone together and help the survivors in the other affected barangays.
NGO representatives from the United States also showed support for Tzu Chi's program by offering saws and other electrical equipment to help speed up recovery efforts.
You make here is a very good example of which we're going to use now with the local government to do the same thing. So we'll cash for work. They clean their own houses. They bring it out to the streets. We try and recycle. They take what they need.
I'm actually very happy that Tzu Chi is here. I was once a Tzu Chi myself, and Tzu Chi has always been very close to my heart. And to see everyone here is actually very touching. I don't feel so alone now.
Reconnecting with Tzu Chi once again, Ling knows well that this path to recovery will not be a lonely one. We now take you back earlier in the week when Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program was working its magic to revive Tacloban's liveliness. Inspired, many participants donated part of their earnings to Tzu Chi to continue the circle of love, while some made posters to express their gratitude. One police officer even returned the extra consolation cash he received from Tzu Chi, as he knew the money could be used to help others. It's stories like this that really radiates the goodness of people.
Shouting out words of encouragement before cleaning up their surroundings. At this moment, everyone puts their sorrows behind. In the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, Tzu Chi Foundation has been providing survivors with relief items and hot meals in the worst-hit areas. With the establishment of the Cash for Work program around the disaster zones, many places have slowly returned to normal. However, what concerns the volunteers next is the emotional health of these disaster survivors.
We need to help Typhoon Haiyan survivors regain their courage. It is not that easy to help them return their lives to normal, especially after such disaster. The purpose of doing relief work is to uplift local residents' spirit through material goods and spiritual encouragement.
Thanks to love and support from around the globe, many residents in Tacloban City have regained the courage to move on and can smile again. To express their appreciation, many wrote words of gratitude on posters and even donated their earnings to help those in greater need.
We provided disaster survivors with subsidies to alleviate suffering and bring laughter to them to uplift their spirits. Many disaster survivors put money in plastic bottles and donated them to Tzu Chi.
With their anxious heart at ease, goodness has started to spread among the local residents.
A policeman came to us and told me that he has received Tzu Chi's consolation cash and there was extra money in it. He returned the extra money to us. It was great to see the brighter side of human nature even in such hard times. If he didn't return the money to us, we wouldn't have known it. The disaster zone teaches us so many things about the potential goodness in human nature.
Although the relief items and subsidies given by Tzu Chi will run out one day, the courage and love embedded in them will remain in the survivors' hearts and help them begin a new chapter in their lives.
Today, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer Liu Jiyu, who heads Tzu Chi's relief missions in the Philippines. Since he arrived in Tacloban on November 18th, Liu immediately began to survey various disaster areas to carry out Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program. He is also often seen cheering on and motivating disaster survivors, giving them the confidence to stand up again. At the Cash for Work program site, Tzu Chi volunteer Liu Jiyu leads Tacloban residents in a cheer.
That cheer came from within. This can help them release the trauma and emotions that have bottled inside of them. It's a very important step in helping disaster survivors recover emotionally.
As head of the relief mission, Liu Jiyu has been in Tacloban since November 18th. During these 2 weeks, he had to survey disaster areas while leading the Cash for Work program. Having gone through each day without much sleep, he nevertheless remains in high spirits.
These disaster survivors all put their best into the recovery efforts. While cleaning their own homes and communities, they can also turn to each other for comfort and support. As a result, the morale of the entire city has been lifted.
Because of Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program, what was once like a vast wasteland is now slowly reviving. Seeing the gradual transformation of the city, Liu says all the hard work has been worthwhile.
You buy food? Yeah, but no. But don't overspending, okay?
When we handed out their pay, we would emphasize to them repeatedly that this money isn't their salary or wage. Instead, what they are really getting in return is Tzu Chi's care. Since its implementation, attendance for Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program has exceeded 200,000. This number not only represents Tacloban's gradual recovery, but also a different kind of experience for Liu.
Show me how you sleep.
A local resident at the work site went on stage and repented. What did he repent for? He told us that he took his pay of 500 Philippines pesos each day for 2 days, but he didn't really do anything. He felt very ashamed and decided to return his money. The disaster survivors then said, "The subsidies you have given us will eventually be depleted. However, you continue to comfort us with your great love and provide us with practical assistance. Your compassion is something that will remain in our hearts forever."
Don't worry, okay?
We came to the disaster area, trying our best to help and comfort the disaster survivors. We put compassion and wisdom into practice. As Master Zhen Yan told us, when it comes time to leave, as one foot steps forward, the other one must also learn to let go.
As the date of the upcoming musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra in Singapore draws near, volunteers from the local Tzu Chi chapter are all busy participating in rehearsals. However, in the wake of Typhoon Haiyan, volunteer Huang Quanlin, despite his busy schedule, still seizes the opportunity to join in Tzu Chi's relief team to help disaster survivors in Tacloban City.
Taken to the stage to boost the morale of the Cash for Work participants in Tacloban City, Singapore Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Quanlin puts aside his upcoming performance in the Water Repentance Sutra musical to join in the relief work effort here in the Philippines.
Thank you.
When these children saw their parents and family members join the Cash for Work program, they also volunteered to take part, even though they wouldn't get paid. I'm very impressed by their spirit.
As a successful businessman in Singapore, Huang also wants to give back to society. So he joined Tzu Chi's relief efforts in Sri Lanka and Haiti. However, the devastation left behind by Typhoon Haiyan has left him in shock.
When I got off the plane, I saw the devastation of the typhoon firsthand, which was much more horrible than the situation in Sri Lanka. The tsunami destroyed the coastline areas of Sri Lanka. However, Typhoon Haiyan has leveled the central Philippines. Roofs of houses were all blown off.
Knowing that he only has a limited amount of time to contribute his love, Huang Quanlin seized every opportunity to help disaster survivors. To pass on his joy and blessings to local residents, Huang joins his counterparts in a sign language performance.
As Tzu Chi volunteers, we had to bring joy to these disaster survivors. Since I'm already here, I will do my best to help out. Their smiles make me even more determined to continue my efforts.
Through doing charitable deeds and helping the less fortunate, Huang Quanlin has gained immeasurable spiritual fulfillment, which means much more to him than any of his monetary gains.
Moving our camera to Sri Lanka, this year, Tzu Chi planned 2 rice distributions to help needy residents. The event this time was also joined by Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers who offer useful suggestions and help facilitate the events.
So this is viral here.
Prior to the upcoming rice distributions, Tzu Chi volunteers first discussed the details to ensure the event would go smoothly. Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers are even in Sri Lanka to offer their invaluable suggestions. This special sports ground is the top choice for the distribution site. As volunteers from 2 countries work together, the language barrier begins to disappear. Later, the volunteers visit the mayor of Colombo to extend their invitation for the upcoming distribution event. The next day, countless residents showed up to collect their rice vouchers. Among the recipients is this 97-year-old grandma who walked 1 kilometer to get here, only to find that her name is not included on the list of the 8 recipients. Not wanting to let the senior down, the volunteers promised to give her rice and will help deliver the rice to her doorstep. The rice distribution aims to help 2,000 households in total.
You are not my family nor my friends, let alone my children. You don't know me at all, yet your love and compassion has helped me forget my pain and suffering.
The great love of Tzu Chi gives the needy recipients strength to move on and smile once again.
To help the needy in Jordan, on November 29th, local Tzu Chi volunteers organized winter aid distributions at 4 different locations. Among the recipients of this aid are the Bedouins, a local tribe that Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for over the past 10 years. Despite living in poverty, many female tribe members also donated some money to Tzu Chi's high-end disaster relief when they heard volunteers were collecting funds to help.
Strong wind blows through these tents that have been set up in the desert. For many of the Bedouin people, this is their home. Today, Jordan Tzu Chi volunteers are visiting the Bedouin tribe. Besides caring for the Bedouin, the volunteers also took the opportunity to help the Syrian refugees. Despite the cold weather, without the means to buy building materials, 18 Bedouin households in this area can only live in houses made from plank wood. This time, the relief items included are 5 kilograms of sugar, 3 kilograms of split peas, 2 liters of oil, and 1 box of tea. Iaman City's Al Kwasman, upon learning that Tzu Chi is canvassing for donations to help those suffering from Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, many Bedouin women happily donated their love.
This boy, yes. This boy, too young.
This time, the winter aid distribution is joined not only by Tzu Chi volunteers, but also staff at the Taiwanese embassy in Jordan.
They have no money, no resources. Society is very, very helpful for us for many years. You help us and we thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for the rice. Thank you to the association. Thank you to the country of Taiwan. Our patients say thank you as well.
In just one day, Jordan Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to 4 different places to hand out relief items and rice from Taiwan. Thanks to volunteers' gestures, many recipients have realized that love can overcome all differences.
At the end of today's show, we bring you the latest images of Tzu Chi's free clinic events in the Philippines. Medical services were joined by local volunteers who provided translating services for doctors from Taiwan. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. See you next week.